What's going on, everybody? Baltmatrix here, and today we're taking a look at the 30th anniversary Jurassic Park crossover set with the Transformers. We got two figures in this set, and to be honest, I thought they were going to be bigger. Dilophocon is the first robot we are going to take a look at, and it is a Dilophosaurus. It kind of has the Dinobot, Kingdom Dinobot curse of, well, there's obviously some robot legs there, and actually vertebrae. It also has a very similar transformation to vertebrae, and I mean, there are some robot fists sticking out of the dinosaur's, what would be the dinosaur's butt. The overall aesthetic works well, and you can move the, I don't know what these are called. I'm sure there's a scientific word for it, but they come off so easily. That is a bit of a pain. It looks good. Its mouth opens and closes. There's a little switch on the back of the head that opens the mouth, and then there's a little port there in the back of the mouth, or in the bottom of the mouth, for this little gimmick. So you got the Venom spray gimmick, which is cool. Coloring works well. Overall, it's a solid dinosaur mode, except my figure just doesn't want to stand up all that well. As soon as I move the legs in any real way, it wants to fall over. That's more of a me problem than a it problem. And then we have Autobot JP12, which is the dumbest name for a Transformer I think I've ever seen. But I can't argue with the Jeep mode. It feels tiny, but it is a good, decent Jeep mode. It is a bit smaller than a current Deluxe class figure, so here's Chase. But it does scale with current Deluxe class figures, so I'm not sure what I'm on about. I like the Jeep mode. I do think it works. There is obviously a crumpled up robot underneath, and the Barbasol can is right there. And then his gun is actually the trailer, or the winch, in the front. And he's got the tiny little license plate there up front. I do like the fact that the inside of the cabin is molded. It's not showing up here in my camera very well. It looks like there are seats in the front and in the back. Overall, it is a good representation of those park Jeeps from the original movie. Ish. Transformation for Dilophocon is pretty easy. Start with pull the legs away from the body and they will unpeg from the forearms. Come up to the top thigh part of the leg and unpeg it, and then flip it down and peg it into place on the shin. Do the same thing on the other side. Get that all pegged up and straighten those legs out. Reach inside and pull the robot arms away and fold them out. Come to the head and pull the head forward. And then what I like to do is fan out the frills, push the frills back, and then they will collapse up underneath like that. And if they pop off, just put them back on. Open up the back, flip out the robot head, close that all up, then collapse the chest. And the only other thing left is to take the tail and fold it up along the back of the figure. And that's it. JP12's transformation is a little bit more complex, but it's not much fun, and that's because the figure's size actually impedes the transformation. There's not a lot of clearance going on. First off, remove the Barbasol can and come up to the front of the vehicle mode and try and pull off the gun, though you just kind of have to turn it and wiggle it off. Then come to the side of the vehicle mode and open up the doors. Reach underneath and unpeg the arms and kind of pull them off to the side. Come to the back of the vehicle mode and pull up on the vehicle mode's canopy and just bring that up. The first time I transformed this, I thought I was going to break this thing in half, but the hinge is supposed to move, so you bring the entire roof of the vehicle and the rear up, and then tuck the tire and the rear gate underneath. Split the rear of the vehicle in half, and then flip up these panels, and then fold out the leg, flip down the foot, and then grab that panel, close it up, and then that will become the shin. Do the same thing on the other side. Open the panel, flip it out, flip out the foot, close up the panel, and stand the figure up and drop the skirt armor into place. So first up, pull these arms apart just a little bit, just so they're still inside those white-ish tabs. Come to the wheels and turn them so that they go up over this black piece, and then bring the wheels all as far up as they will go, so they look like that. Drop the chest down a little bit, and then we can flip up the wheel wells and open up that. And this is the hardest part of the transformation because I can never get this chest to come all the way down, and you're not going to be able to. So you have to get it down to about halfway, peekaboo, and then we can bring the arms and shoulders up, and that will free us up to bring the chest all the way down. There's a little peg hole right there that the chest will peg into. And then kind of just push the backpack up and peg it into place. Take the little red piece here, push it down, then push the roof or the hood up all the way, and grab yourself the hat accessory and drop it into place. And we just want to make sure that the little teeth are pointing on the back, and then peg that into place. And we are done. One quick thing about JP12, the shoulders are supposed to peg into place in these little tabs, and they just, on mine, just kind of rest there, but they pop out super easily. Even if you've got them pegged in all the way, they don't stay pegged in, and his hat keeps falling off. Of the two figures, I like Dilophocon more than JP12. I think JP12 is not a very good figure, but I'll get into that more in a minute. I do like Dilophocon, but Dilophocon isn't flawless either. He's got very little in terms of, well, he's got heels, but he doesn't really have good heels. So he kind of has a tendency to fall over really easy. And then JP12, the pins in the knees are a joke because they, as soon as you pick up the figure, they just collapse. I mean, the knees are, for the cost of this set, this is a joke. I mean, this is pathetic. I love Dilophodon's head sculpt. I think it's so cool. It's so grimacy and fun. And he just looks like he's giving you the Spock look while also trying to kill you. The overall aesthetic of Dilophocon, I keep wanting to call him Dilophodon, is neat. The tail does detach, though not very easily. Oh, come on. And just fold that back. Get back up there. Nope, not you. I don't want you to fold up. I want that to fold up. Thank you. I'm just manhandling this thing. Then this will flip out to form a literal tail gun, and then you can peg the sprayer, or the poison spray, onto it for some blast effect or gun effect. Head is on a swivel. Head is on a ball joint, though it's very tight. Ball joint in the shoulders, then the butterfly joint for the transformation. I really wish this pegged in somehow. Ball joint in the elbow, ball joint in the hip, swivel at the upper thigh, bend at the knees about 90 degrees, and then you've got two joints down here in the ankles. You've got one for ankle forward and back, and then you've got a ball joint in the actual ankle. And I've played around with this a little bit. I keep wanting to make like a different type of foot out of it, but it doesn't work. So you can pull off some okay poses, but you've got to be really careful about the balance of this figure because those heels being so small, he's gonna fall over if he's even just remotely top heavy. Besides the stupid hat, he comes with the gun, which is a winch, which he can wield with no problem. I said you could wield this with no problem. There you go. And then the can of barber saw, which pops open to have the little embryo holder, and then that can peg onto the tip of the gun so he can shoot dinosaur embryos at bad guys. And then the barber saw can is supposed to be stored on the back like that. I'm not even joking. But what I really do like is you could just have him shooting Autobot branded shaving cream at people. Yes, please. Okay, I like that. Head sculpt is okay. It is Nedry from the movie. I mean, that's what it's supposed to be. I kind of like it. He's got such a pudgy face, and the overall aesthetic is pudgy, and as a pudgy person, my knees hurt too. Posability-wise, head is on a ball joint, though it's really tight on my figure. Ball joint in the shoulder, and then there is a hinge joint just next to it. Swivel, bend at the elbow, fists do articulate. I forgot to mention on Dilophocon, his fists do not move. There is no torso articulation. Legs can kick out, can kick forward, can kick back a little bit. Bend at the knees, 90 degrees. Then there is another double hinge here. We've got the hinge for the transformation, and then we've got a hinge and a swivel on the foot. So if his knees actually held him up, you could probably pull off some decent poses for this guy. JP12 has a little peg hole in the tush for a figure stand. Dilophocon does not, because, well, you just get the little grabby claws and have him hold it like that. Of the two, I think Dilophocon is definitely the better figure. It actually could be retooled pretty heavily into a new Beast Wars Iguanus. I could see that. I really could. Change the legs and give him different arms and remove the frills, or change the frills out, and that could work. JP12, I get, they tried. They really tried. If the pins weren't a mess here in the knees, it would be a much more enjoyable figure, but it's kind of ugly and not fun, and I hate the transformation. I absolutely hate this transformation because it doesn't work all that well. Hold on, I've got to get a figure stand. I can't get this damn thing to stay standing up because the knees. I mean, the knees are a mess. But even getting the figure stand in there is... You know what? Screw it. Don't buy this set. If you're going to get anything, just wait for a repaint of Dilophocon. I think there is one coming in late 2024, maybe 2025. It's a pretty good figure. Definitely worth the price of a deluxe on its own. That thing just sucks. All right, folks. Let me know what you think of this set down in the comments. As always, I have been Baltmatrix. I'll catch you next time. Actually, you know what? I can think of one good thing for JP12. Dino Chow. Yep. That's his calling.